Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Rampage Open Quarterfinals. I'm going to be your play-by-play caster tonight, Rando Joe, and I'm joined with Danielson524, my color caster. How are you doing today, man?
Woo! I am feeling pretty good tonight. I tell you, we have got some pretty exciting stuff right here. This is the Rampage Open, meaning that these are not set teams, but these are going to be some very, very exciting games. You know, we might see some pretty colorful pocket picks coming out. We might see some pretty cool pop-offs from a lot of these champions. Look at these guys' pools especially. But we are getting into the bans right now. You excited for this one, man?
Oh, absolutely. These teams look like they're going to be playing a great game today. We already have a few target bans here coming in. Renekton, the main champion for the top laner of PLG. Echo and Cassidy, the two main champions for the mid laner on the side of ODP. So some really solid target bans, targeting the strong players on either team. And yeah, looking to be some interesting picks coming through. The Kale ban coming in next.
Definitely. I'm not entirely sure which player on Pendulum Gaming actually plays Kale. I didn't see any of that in my little OPG.
Yeah, neither did I, but...
Yeah, I did see the Morgana and the Renekton, though. No Knightsbridge on that support does play an excessive amount of Morgana, but he does have a pretty deep champ pool, playing a lot of meta champions as well. But we are seeing the very first pick come out right here. Miss Fortune, speaking of meta champions, probably one of the best ADCs in the game right now, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think she's definitely one of the top ADCs. My personal preferred go-to champions for ADCs right now are Varus and Ezreal. I feel like they're the top two, but I think Miss Fortune is a solid number 3 right there. It's one of the higher picks for the ADC from ODP, and then PLG is going to go right back into it with a Jhin, so our first 2 picks are going to be the 2 bot laners for either side.
Yeah, definitely. We were talking about banning out the one tricks, and Wedding Genie, a Jhin main, that is his main champion. I believe he has like a 75% win rate over like 40 games with it, and it should be able to complement fairly nicely with the Swain. You know, combo with that lockdown, get a lot of burst damage, and maybe not as nicely as a Mumu and Miss Fortune might combo yet. That is looking like a fat team fight right now. Not to mention the pressure you get from having a Garen top, especially in a winning lane. Like against the Ornn, which we are going to the second ban phases right now. We have the bot lane and the top lane there for PLG, and a little bit of everything over there for one-man dance party. Really cool stuff.
Yeah, one-man dance party are just looking to pick up their champions here. The Amumu, one of the most favored junglers for the H2O element here, and Garen, the second most played top laner for him in solo queue after the Tryndamere, which ended up getting banned out.
Yeah.
So just solid comfort picks all around.
Yeah, Tryndamere, definitely one of those champions that he can be played in a competitive setting, but you really have to pop up on lane to kind of a unrealistic degree, considering that he's able to be on comms with his junglers. Like, dude, please gank me, you know, stuff like that. Stuff that I tend to type a little bit more in my ranked games. But either way, speaking of junglers, one thing I am really excited about seeing is the Shyvana. Now, we have been seeing a lot of AP Shyvana specifically in solo queue, and one of the weakest parts about that is how susceptible you are to early invades in the jungle. Definitely very weak with that Dark Harvest rune. Definitely not as good as Press the Attack. But one champion who can evade you a lot is Amumu, so I think Shyvana should get a lot of time to scale and build up to the late game that her team looks to be building right now. They have a lot of really good late game scaling on there. And if it's not for the Amumu Miss Fortune, I would say that so far things are looking very good for Pendulum.
Yeah, I fully agree, but now ODP's finished up their team comp. They've got the Miss Fortune Nami for the bottom lane and the Zilean blind pick here coming in from mid lane.
Oh yeah.
So that is going to be one very fast Garen that is going to run through the side of PLG and just try to terrorize that Jhin the entire late stage of the game.
I definitely got to say, at a certain level of play, it's really not as much as around like building a really good team comp as much as just enabling one guy to carry you. And one-man dance party, you know, they have Garen in their team logo, but they also have a pretty big Garen right here. We did talk about Hal JLV Frog. He does play a lot of Garen, who is an extremely strong champion at the moment. With the Nami, with the Zilean, both of which are going to enable him pretty hard, and the Miss Fortune in the backline, I think this is definitely going to be the guy to watch in this series. You know, he's got an easy matchup. He doesn't have a jungler who's going to gank it. An enemy jungler is going to gank him too much. And, you know, if he gets a kill or two in lane and makes a really good roam there before 15 minutes, I think we might be in for some spin to win action over here.
Yeah, and the rest of the team complements it really well with all the lockdown coming in from Amumu, Nami, and Zilean. It's going to be a little difficult for the side of PLG to actually kite him out later on, especially if Shyvana starts to get behind and is not able to actually bring out any of the magic damage. Their team is actually quite heavy on magic damage, where Jin's only the only real source of pure physical damage, since Corki is something like 80% magic damage.
Yes. Yeah.
And Swain support, and most likely we'll see AP Shyvana, but she may decide actually to go the more tanky build and maybe be going a Conqueror.
Yeah, that is
or
true.
Something.
Definitely on that. If you're going pure tank, I think that there's the argument for Conqueror. But on like a Bruiser build where you go for like Blood Razor into Tiamat or something like that, I definitely think press the attack is far superior in that scenario.
Or a Bork even.
Or Bork. There's definitely an option for Bork. You do get into the scenario where it's like, all right, do I want to build Blood Razor and do I want additional attack speed on there, or do I want like the tanky stats that comes with the Titanic Hydra or a Frozen Mallet, which a lot of people think is really good on Shyvana, but I've never really found a very good space for it in my build. Either way, we do have to talk about like the scaling of both of these teams, what we're going to be looking at. Like we did talk about, the Garen is going to be a very, very big play. There's a lot of enablers on Nanted's party. Whether or not they have the coordination to do that, and whether or not the Garen gets ahead in lane is something else entirely. Not to mention how good that Amumu Misfortune combo. That's very easy to pull off and could be devastating. You know, you chunk out 2-3 people and suddenly it becomes a cleanup crew over there for Garen. You know, I mean, other than that, Zillion's going to be doing a lot of use for his team. He has the ultimate just in case someone gets caught out, which Pendulum Gaming definitely do have a lot to catch up people. They got the swing grab, they got the Jin follow-up, and they got the Horn there to initiate team fights. So I definitely think that both these teams have a lot of really good initiation. They have a very good backline, and they have a decent scaling on both sides. So this is I won't give the draft either way. I do think the Corki has lane than I'm currently talking about right now, but I have been talking a lot. What do you think about this one?
I think we're going to see a really, really scrappy mid game.
Oh yeah.
With Amumu and Misfortune are probably just going to look to combo their ultimates pretty well on cooldown. And I think, again, depending on what kind of build we see from the Shyvana, if she's going to be going AP, we'll see a lot more attempts to fight in the mid game by them. But if she's going AD, we may end up seeing her in the side lane split pushing against the Garen, and having Ornn being in the mid lane, or wherever the team is going to be posturing, and having him set up and initiate fights. Yeah.
We were talking about predictions there, and we're probably just going to find it out the second we get into the loading screen. But talking about AP versus AD Shyvana, they definitely do have a lot of different strengths. I was talking about earlier how AP Shyvana has a much worse early game. Shyvana in general doesn't have the best early game. You know, her first clear, it's not as fast as some of the most meta junglers like Karthus or Graves. She does get extremely low because she has like no innate sustain in her kit, and she is a melee champion. You have to get right up in there to get those auto attacks. But after that, you do have to get like basically a full item and a half on AP Shyvana before you start noticing some real damage in your kit. You don't get until level 8, you don't get all the points in your E. I like to take at least 1 point in my W on AP Shyvana, so you do delay that a little bit more. But as on a champion like AD Shyvana, it's actually aside from your first clear, you actually have a very, very good early game / mid game. You can basically fight almost every other jungler in the games aside from Graves with that new keystone. What's it called? One makes you fast. What's it called? Come on.
Phase rush.
Yeah, phase rush Graves. I don't know if
the new tag.
I don't know if Tarzan or Void Boy made some kind of YouTube video about that, but literally everyone is playing that in my games right now. And it is so annoying. I swear, maybe it's just supposed to be the counter for Olaf or something. But honestly, he starts auto attacking you for more damage than your full K, and he just sticks on you so hard. Shit is unreal. But other than that, you got any final big old notes before we get into this loading screen right here, get into this break?
Last thing I'd like to point out is I'm looking forward to watch the 2v2ing and the fighting that goes on in the bot lane, because I think Misfortune Nami versus Jin Swain is going to be a really, really fun and interesting lane to watch, and how often they'll likely be trading with each other. So
completely
I
agree.
assume we'll be seeing a lot of trades happening in that bottom lane, and even some picks maybe, because Jin Swain, if Swain lands one grab, Jin's gonna root whoever he grabbed, and there's gonna be a lot of damage going on to that person.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be the name of the game right there. Misfortune and Nami just avoiding those Swain E's, which are very hard to avoid if you don't have any kind of a dash in your kit.
Yeah.
But one thing I would like to see is, if you don't know, about a few patches back, they buffed Nami's bubbles, or her E, so that it now applies on spells. So if Misfortune goes for some early points in her E, the bullet rain, it could provide a lot of early damage there. I'm not entirely sure how useful that would be, but if you're looking to poke someone out, hell yeah, that'd be really cool to see. Either way.
I mean, I hope she doesn't, because that's a huge mana sink. But in any case, we'll find out. But first, we'll take a short break. We'll be back in a minute or two after the spectator delay is finished and we've synced up all of the timing on our clients. And don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for the first game between One Man Dance Party and Pendulum Gaming.
Woo!
Welcome back, everyone. Here we are for game one between One Man Dance Party and Pendulum Gaming. How are you doing, Danielson?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you, man? We got some pretty interesting stuff right here. I know you were just flaming these guys in the pregame.
Hey, it was not flame.
It was flame. You're just like, oh, AP Shyvana is so much worse than AP in this game. That's exactly what you sound like. Perfect impression. But other than that, we do have some stuff right here. We have a Conqueror, a Mumu, something I'm really interested in. I mean, there's definitely an argument to be made if you have the sticking power to just stay on top of someone and go like really tanky in team fights. But I mean, I'm not entirely sure if it's better than Aftershock. I mean, the argument could be made for going full tank, building that in team fights. But I think that's pretty interesting. Also, we have a press the attack Corki. Pretty interesting. I'm
Yeah.
not entirely sure how many times you're gonna be able to proc that in lane. You are in a range versus range matchup, so the argument could be made there for the healing one in the same tree, blanking on the name. But other than that, this is looking
Fleet
like an
footwork.
exciting game. Fleet footwork. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah. So seeing Conquer on a Mumu, I kind of think we might see a I forget
For
what the
what?
AP jungle item is called, but the AP jungle item
Runic
into
Echo.
a Runic Echoes, yeah, yeah. Runic Echoes into a Leandries and Rylai's
Ooh.
for the sticking power
Oh yeah.
and just heal up through fights. This is just a guess.
Yeah. I mean, there is a
I'm
little
not
bit of an
entirely
AP
sure about how.
ratio. I think there's an AP
Yeah,
ratio on Conqueror. But other than that, that would be really interesting if we saw that. But, frick, his team needs a tank.
Oh.
Ooh.
Swain gets a 2-man stun there and forces the flash out of Nami.
Oh, yeah, Jesus. You don't want to be doing that early in the lane. Just getting hit both of you by one ability. I mean, Nami did get poked out earlier there in the Tribe Rush with. You do have to be a little bit careful around that kind of a thing. But meanwhile, we did get a little bit of vision happening earlier in this game with Red Team getting a really nice ward right there on a Mumu's jungle path. So they should have a pretty good idea where this is. And if he does decide to go for that standard 3-minute gank in the top lane, we could see some little play-by-play from that.
Something interesting here, but first Garen and Ornn are getting super low trading against each other.
These guys are going fat on each other.
As you do in the top lane, you're just kind of hitting each other the whole time.
Yeah. They both. Ornn does have the grasp, so in very short trades he should have the advantage. But in really longer, extended trades, Garen should have the advantage. But it doesn't really look that way right now because of how low these guys are getting. He did go a little bit of deep on top of the enemy's minions, drawing a little bit of aggro there. Meanwhile, Ornn did take biscuits in that inspiration secondary tree, so he should have a little bit of a regen advantage, especially if he's able to land those Qs, knock off Garen's passive, stop him from getting those honestly a really insane amount of healing. Ooh, hold up.
He goes in for the knock up here, and Garen goes for the silence and just spinning on top of him, forces the Ornn flash out.
Yeah.
Another flash burn solo in the lanes.
I really like seeing that. A lot of people don't think about this, but Garen has a shield on his kit now. I've been playing this game for a while, and even still today, they put the shield on his kit like a season and a half ago, but I just never expected it when going in for a trade. It's like, oh wait, this guy just has 80 more health than I thought. Yikes.
Oh, close Swain E right there, but Nami gets the bubble in return. Misfortune procs the PTA, forcing Jin to heal his Swain. Some more trading happening everywhere. They're just fighting, except for the Corki, of course. Corki's lane is a very non-interactive lane, and as I say that, the camera pans there, but I don't think we'll be seeing it that much more.
I do like playing a little bit of Corki Zillion in this game. I like to say there are two types of champions in this game. Champions who go in and use their abilities, or champions who just stay back and throw stuff at you.
Right.
In the mid lane, especially, there's a lot of that second type, and this is really just showing off what that kind of stuff is going to be like. Not very interactive in lane. If you hit your opponent with more of your stuff than they hit you with theirs, then maybe you can look for an all-in. But other than that, it's probably going to be really uninteractive. What I'm really excited to see about is will we see Corki with the new tier build that I've been hearing about? I've been seeing a lot of Man-Immune Corkis in my solo queue games.
It's quite strong once you get to the Man-Immune plus the Trinity Force. Every time I think of Man-Immune and Trinity Force, I think of Ezreal, and I was going to say, he stacks it really quickly with his Q, but it's actually Corki's R that stacks it really quickly, so he'll likely have it around the 19-20 minute mark or so, assuming he goes to build, and his auto attacks just hit crazy. So if he's ever proccing PTA in a team fight, once his Man-Immune is finished, he's going to be dealing a ton of damage.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Corki has always been a champion that scales really, really hard. We are seeing a little bit of a pause right here, but I am seeing some R's in the chat, so this should be finished up pretty quickly. But yeah, Corki's also always been a champion that spikes really hard. He's a crit building champion that gets the Triforce. He also has Sork shoes, getting him some natural penetration in his build, something very rare for ADCs outside of Draven or Jhin or something like that. You can occasionally opt into some armor pen with their builds. But at the same time, if we do see Garen getting a little bit of a pop-up here, who is falling down a little bit in CS, it's going to be very, very hard for him to deal with that 800 move speed tank coming at him.
Garen taking a little bit too much of a trade there and ends up going down for the first blood. Standing a little bit too close to that Ornn pillar, letting himself getting knocked up, and
Yeah.
taking down for the kill.
A big part of
Oh
Garen's...
no.
Oh, what's happening? What do you see?
Well, he's the mini wave just got pushed into his turret and he doesn't have teleport, so he's gonna be losing a lot of XP for dying right there.
Yeah, you hate to see it. Ooh.
Yeah, the gank comes in here. Corky's getting taken pretty low, but just forced to flash out and trading a little back on Zillion, but
both these guys are a little bit low on mana. Saw a little bit more, we might have been able to see some kind of follow-up. Ooh, what's happening right here? We see the bubbles on the Emma.
Flashing away, and Misfortune looking to get the trade there, but just going to take some damage onto Jin.
Yeah, these guys are definitely turning around the lane. You know, earlier that story, we saw a lot of stuff coming out there from Swain, providing that pressure on that early lane. But, you know, they didn't die to it, and they eventually got to a point where they could just heal up from the Nami if they did ever get caught out. And, you know, good for them. They're stabilizing. That's what you hope to see from a bot lane. Not going 0-3 in the first 10 minutes on both of the champions and then calling for an FF at 7 minutes. You know, something that you would only see in my range games. Other than that, yeah, top lane. One really big strength of Garen is how well he can heal from. You know, you can take a very bad trade where you get your opponent low, and then you just hang back for like 12 seconds and regen like half your HP. Meanwhile, they're still at about the same HP. You know, your Garen, the damage doesn't stick on you as much, and we didn't see this guy utilizing that much in lane. We saw him going for a lot of like really up close and personal trades, but hopefully we see a little bit of a comeback here. It looks like he is going for a Phage first item, which should give him a little bit more sticking. But speaking of first item, we're going to see first dragon here. Ooh, fight happening.
Nami getting caught out though. She's going to be taken down, but she does have the Zillion ult on top of her to stay alive. As Gorky getting a little bit too aggressive on the Misfortune and ends up getting taken down here. Shyvana gets stunned up by the double bomb and gonna go down to the Misfortune. She gets a kill. Topside, Garen nearly gets the Ornn, and Jin is forced to flash out. Double flashes to chase him underneath the turret, but he's going to get away as he uses his heal.
Yeah, that was a lot of summon stuff coming out right there. Really unfortunate stuff, and really unfortunate that Misfortune he couldn't get her back up before then. Otherwise, she'd probably been a lot more impactful. Not to mention like how many of these champions don't have their level 6 and that they're fighting like right now. Not entirely sure how that would affect it. Oh,
getting a little bit too over aggressive there, the Jin.
Yeah.
As Corky comes in with the package though, looking to clean up. He's gonna pick up 1 kill on the Misfortune and try to get the next kill on the Nami with this double auto attacks. And then just gonna be right there in the perfect spot to pick up a triple kill after going back with the package after dying. So definitely a really nice comeback on the fight there. And Jin, I said he got over aggressive. I think he was just baiting, and that was entirely 100% planned to get his Corky ahead. And now they're gonna get the first dragon as well.
You know, if I am that Jin, that is what I would be typing in chat. But one thing I would like to point out is that Corky did go for that Sheen first item. I don't think Garen died. Garen does die here.
Ornn is going to take down the Garen again.
I was about to say, I was thinking in my mind, I can keep talking. Garen doesn't die here. He does die. Wow. Yeah, people don't talk about this enough, but Ornn actually, for how much he scales, he has an incredibly strong lane. And even most really good champions like Garen or even like a Renekton or a Set or something have trouble against his pick. Ooh!
Misfortune. Not quite going to kill the Swain, but it is going to clear the wave and get rid of some of the pressure, push him back off, and they'll be able to take control of the bottom lane again.
Yeah, I think I would have liked to see a Nami ult come out there with a little bit of combo, get some bonus damage, keeping him the Misfortune ultimate for a little bit longer. We noticed that he used his flash in that last fight, so obviously he doesn't have it right here, right now. Boom. But other than that, Ornn, good champion in the top lane.
Ornn, good champion. Agreed. 100%. You know, the assassin, mage, bruiser, fighter thing, everything in the game
DPS,
that he is.
What other words are on there? You know, like
I don't remember.
A big thing with like friggin' one thing I would like to point out though is Shyvana. I spend a little bit of time looking at the Shyvana main subreddit on occasion just because of how much I like that champion. But I've recently found out about the new hotness in your runes. Of course, you go Dark Harvest, and I used to go for Inspiration Secondary for the free boots and the 5% CDR. But a lot of people have actually been going scaling more on that champion. Meanwhile, we do have a fight right here.
Yeah, so Amumu goes in with the bandage toss onto the Ornn and just kind of waltzes away nice and safely, nice and slowly. No flashes burn, no ultimate burn, nothing. Just, you know, a little bit of a hi, you know, hello gank. Amumu just wanted to give him a hug.
How you doing, man? Yeah, just checking in. What's that mastery in inspiration? Not inspiration, the blue one that gives you AD or AP every 10 minutes or something. What's that called?
Oh, Gathering Storm.
Gathering Storm. Yeah, you go that on Shyvana to help your mid game because at like 20 minutes you get like an extra freaking like 40 AP or something like that. Either way, something like that. Maybe it's like closer to 30. But either way, it's insanely valuable considering
Mhm.
you do tend to fall off a little bit in the mid game. You can't make too many things happen in the early game. Like I was talking about how AP Shyvana is really bad in the early game, but honestly, if you just gank top at like 3 or 4 minutes, you sometimes just come away with a random kill because of people overextending and shit. Speaking of overextending, we do have a little bit of a fight here.
Yeah, Nami ult's gonna go in and take out the Jin on the back,
yeah.
and Swain is forced to flash out of the Misfortune, otherwise he was gonna go down as well. But nice 2v2 kill here coming down from Misfortune and Nami, and we'll see some more in a little bit as Amumu's standing in the tri-bush looking to go for a tower dive on the Swain once the wave gets pushed in.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to this in the top lane too. Looks like a very good trade right there for Garen, but looks like Amumu is gonna be backing off.
Yeah.
Right there. Not sure why. I think that's pretty good, but he did go for the Cinderhold as a jungle item, leading me to believe that he will probably be going for that full tank sort of a thing. I do agree that Runic Echoes is undervalued on Amumu, but you know he's tanking for his team. He's a team player. He's a real ass dude right there. Good for him. And it looks like Corki definitely not going to be going for the tier in his build. He is building a second component of that Triforce. I guess he's definitely going for those earlier power spikes, despite how good his team's late game is with the Ornn, with the Corki, with the Jhin, you know.
Yeah.
But either way, you know, you can't get to a good late game if you don't have a mid or early game. That's what I like to say. Ooh, what's happening here?
A little bit of an invade here. Shyvana's gonna tag Garen with the nice human form E and try to steal this Gromp away from Amumu who's on the bottom side, but
now we are seeing some pretty highly contested Gromp camp right here.
Nearly got the smite, but nothing too big is going to happen. Corki here is going to miss his Valkyrie and is forced to flash over the wall. That's unfortunate there. Just slight misplay, forced to burn his flash, but hopefully it's not going to be too consequential for him. Shyvana takes half of her HP from the double bomb from Zilean and just completely pushed away from this mid lane. It's not going to be able to contest this dragon that's spawning in 30 seconds without backing first as well.
Yeah, definitely. Would like to see a little bit more attack speed right here on AP Shyvana. Despite like scaling with AP, I do always like to build a little bit more attack speed for my first clear. You know, your kit just scales so well with attack speed, and when you're like fighting against someone that doesn't run away from you, there's definitely a lot of value there. And she will be picking up a dagger right here.
Boy. With this Nami, this is not the spot you want to be in. She gets forced to flash as well. They're just a little bit over aggressive for the ward. Gets the vision down, but trades her flash for it as the Infernal Dragon spawns, and Garen and Ornn continue to slap each other.
We do have Corki here with his package and his Triforce package. That's a pretty big power spike for this guy. Ooh.
Shyvana gets double bombed, is ulted by Amumu and Nami and ends up going down, but as Ornn tower dives the Garen in the top lane, picking up his third solo kill. And Jin's forced to cancel his ultimate as Amumu gets out and lives just fine. Nice little 1-for-2 there. Or 1-for-1, sorry.
Yeah, I love it when my late game scaling tank can just like solo kill bruisers. You know, I do see a really nice copy pasta here in the chat. A little bit of a fight going on here. Let me just read this out round for you. Ornn, the mage, death knight, paladin, hunter, rogue, warrior, enchanter, tank, bruiser, wizard, warlock, priest, assassin, gunslinger, druid, shaman, necromancer, ninja, gunslinger, bard, monk, robot, conqueror, blacksmith, mystic, warden, god, illusionist, templar, wizard. Wow, that's a lot of badges.
God bless LS. As Garen teleports in on the backside and finishes off the Jhin, and Ornn's forced to flash out after getting double bombed, so... He lives, but Garen's coming in on Swain. He's going to go end up taking him down. The silence does not allow Swain to use any abilities to heal, and he's got to force. Gets forced back out.
Comeback right here. I like seeing the little 2-kill action being picked up right there on the Garen.
Yeah, Misfortune earns the flash of Shyvana. Shyvana did get a Dark Harvest stack, so this fight may end up being worth for her still.
You're thinking about the old Dark Harvest stack, man. Like, do you know what like the actual numbers on Dark Harvest are? It's an initial. All right, one Dark Harvest stack is like an extra 3 damage when you proc it. Right? Like, the only real champion it's like good on, I'd say, is probably Karthus, who's like getting Dark Harvest stacks every 2 minutes, like on multiple people every time he ults. So you finish the game with like 80 or 90 or something like that. But like on Shyvana, you get like maybe 20, so it's like you're getting an extra 30 damage late game, plus the base damage to the thing. I mean, We take those. I mean, it always feels really nice, like seeing a low ADC just walk in to the pool on your E, late game
Oh
with
yeah.
Dark Harvest, and it's just like, where'd all my health go? AP Shyvana's overpowered. And then it's just like, yeah, it's pretty strong. Ooh, a little something happening here.
Yeah, Shyvana drops the Rift Herald, and she's got her dragon form here, so she's gonna look to take something down in this mid lane. I don't think it's gonna actually get the turret here, since Zilean can just put the double bomb down, clear the wave, and finish off the Rift Herald, but...
Yeah, not entirely sure how much value you're getting out of that Rift Herald, you know. Chunking a, ooh, hold up.
That's going to be a kill on the Corki. Yeah, that Corki is going to die to that. And Zilean procs his ultimate as Shyvana goes in. So Shyvana's got to get out of there. She's a Mumu chasing him. He flash Qs for the kill and is going to actually end up giving it over to Zilean as he picks up a double kill with his bombs.
Hell yeah, Zilean. Nice job there, man. 2-0-4 right now on that pick. And what looked like a bad lane, honestly. Speaking of bad lanes, Garen.
This one's definitely not looking too good for him as Ornn picks up his 4th kill of the lane. Taking him down underneath the turret, and a shutdown kill, actually. He gets the shutdown because Garen picked up 2 kills in the bottom fight, but
I think this is the
he's
first
got to fight off
game.
Amumu now. If it goes down, Amumu's here to try and do something, but Ornn dodges the bandage toss and is going to look back to fight the Amumu. I don't think Amumu wants to take this fight, as Ornn's got more HP than him and 3 levels on him.
Oh yeah.
We'll see. Zilean comes in for the stun, and Amumu chains it with his bandage toss. That's going to be a kill going over to Zilean. But he did get the first turret top lane.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. He does have the Sunfire, which does, people don't talk about that actually combos insanely well with Ornn's pit. You know, you get a lot of extra damage every time you CC someone. Ornn has maybe I don't know, at least 12 sources of CC in his kit, something like that.
That might even be understating it.
Oh yeah. Either way, we are officially in the mid game right here. 17 minutes. You know, mid game begins at 14 minutes. And looking at the state of the game right now, I'm actually really impressed with how much of a lead.
Ooh! Nice double bubble coming in, and Misfortune follows up with their ultimate as Swain tries to flash in to kill the Nami, but Misfortune is just going to pick up a nice double kill there. Really beautiful bubble coming in from the Nami.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about how well Misfortune can combo some of these people, like the Nami, like the Zilean, like the Amumu, but you know, being able to just land those perfect double bubbles on that champion and just get the immediate follow-up from Misfortune for that double kill, definitely not something I expected from this lane. You know, people talk about how strong Swain's support is, but we really didn't see as many early opportunities. He got pretty close to getting a kill in a lot of instances, but he really didn't get much value in lane out of that. And right now we're looking at the Essence Reaver BF sword on the Misfortune versus just a Storm Razor on the Jhin, really just showing you the kind of difference that you're showing in this lane right now.
Yeah, Misfortune's got quite a lot of gold up on the Jhin. He's actually just under 2,000 gold ahead of him. He's rocking just about a 40 CS lead over him as well. On top of the shutdowns and the kills and the assists, so definitely a strong advantage there for the Misfortune. As for the whole team, it's just about a 4,000 gold lead coming into 19 minutes here, so a really solid mid-game lead for the side of One Man Dance Party.
Definitely. I will say the one thing I don't like about One Man Dance Party is they haven't been able to put as many resources into the Garen as I would have hoped this game. So he's not going to be as big in these team fights because he combos really well with the Zilean. Would like to see a little bit more damage there.
Going for a bit of a pick here is Corki flashes in onto the backline, but Amumu gets the nice 2-man ultimate.
Oh yeah.
Taking down the Ornn and the Swain as Corki's able to finish off the Zilean, but gets just barely out of the Nami ultimate, but there's nowhere for him to go now. Misfortune's going to cut him off with the ultimate. And as I say that, Corki's Valkyrie comes back up, but he's just going to be standing there, stuck between an Amumu and a Misfortune, from nowhere for him to go, as Misfortune picks up another kill, her 5th of the game, and they look for the Rift Herald here, but they don't have time for it.
Unlucky. Yeah, you hate to see it. You hate it. You're not really looking at the... oh, hold up. What's happening?
Oh my gosh, flashing in there. Just a little bit over-aggressive. Nearly gets her with the crit, but Jhin gets the root down, starts the ultimate. As Misfortune dodges too. Does not dodge the 3rd one, and as Jhin hits the 4th one, is able to pick up the shutdown on the Misfortune, getting a little bit too close.
Oh my god. She was so confident in her dodging skills, she didn't even want to use it. She's like, man, I'm just going to style on this guy. But watch this. Oh man. You know, either way, we got some.
They're spamming her. They're spam pinging her heal, her teammates. She's trying to, you do the left and right juke that you do against Blitzcrank, and then Blitzcrank just walks up towards you and melee hits you. That's pretty much what happened here. Zilean gets half of Swain's HP, but Corki with the package is going to go and engage on him. Zillion burns the ultimate, but Swain's gonna go down to the Amumu here. As Corky's forced to back off a little bit.
Ooh, Shyvana's coming.
Orin's gonna proc his ultimate here and look for the knockup on the Nami, try to stun her up and finish her off as she's gonna flash away. Orin flashing for the chase, but not gonna be able to continue as Garen flashes in on the backside and takes down the Jhin.
Oh yeah.
As he goes down to the Nami, and Orin's gonna go down as well. Misfortune picks up that kill, and they're gonna look to finish off this turret here. Misfortune looks for the ultimate, just barely not killing the Shyvana, but they're gonna have full prio over this mid lane. Amumu's already going to take this Ocean Dragon as their second dragon of the game. Really, really solid team fight here. Brings One Man Dance Party to a 5.5k gold lead and really strong position on the map for this mid game.
Yeah, I gotta say that this is a very interesting game. You know, we saw a lot of fights go a lot of different ways, but I really gotta say this one is kind of, it shows you like the bot lane difference of this game. I don't think these team fights have been going so much on the way of One Man Dance Party. Ooh.
Speaking of which,
like Misfortune and Nami just getting that lead that they did in these fights. If Jhin was like popping people with these autos, you could see just like their team couldn't really stand a chance. But it was going to be the blue buff steal and this 2 dragons over there for One Man Dance Party. Ooh, is this under tower? Is this a fight?
I hope it's not a fight, but Jhin picks up the root on Misfortune again as we look to see if she can dodge these ones, but this one's not fair. She has the move speed advantage from Nami, so she does get out of this ultimate, but she's going to walk into a Corki here as Corki gets bubbled up, and they're just going to walk away nice and safely. Nami keeping her ADC alive.
What's that one Expecke quote right here? This Nidalee is too tanky. That's what I'm feeling right now. Jhin ults on the Misfortune right now. Misfortune's just too tanky, you know? He did get that 1 kill earlier, but a little bit of few missed shots coming out right here. Yeah, and,
Misfortune is just too tanky.
Misfortune too tanky. Damn. Either way, we do have the Baron on the map right now, and you have to wonder, will One Man Dance Party be looking for a fight coming up right here and be able to take that Baron soon? We did talk about how they do have the scaling advantage on the side of Pendulum Gaming, so they should try to press their lead as soon as they can on the side of One Man Dance Party. Definitely look for like a pick or two and try to forte that into a Baron, or however that word gets used.
Yeah, definitely want to see them look for some team fights here. Their Misfortune has 7 kills. Amumu has 3 kills. He's finished his Cinder Hulk, his Abyssal Mask. He's really, really tanky right now. Just about unkillable against these magic damage threats. They definitely want to look for some picks. Maybe 1 pick, 2, get a full team fight off. Finish off the Baron. 1 pick, 2 pick, pick all, get an ace, kill them all.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, cool stuff right here. Meanwhile, Shyvana, we talked about how she would get a lot of time to farm, but she did end up dying a few times earlier here. She is working her way towards turn natural 2. So hopefully we can see a little bit of a turnaround right here. I do like seeing some pretty hype AP Shyvana plays, but right now she is not set up for that.
There's a little bit of poking going on, but Misfortune's caught out here on the side. Ornn and Corki gonna end up taking her down. Just a little bit too far away from her team there. Zillion not quite close enough to save her with the ultimate, as they're gonna be forced to back off here. That's their strongest member going down.
Oh yeah, definitely. You do not want to see that. Your 25-minute 80 carries getting caught out. Ornn
ultimate goes in, but it only lands onto 1. As Garen and Zillion going in, finishes off the Corki. Garen is just spinning around. Nami's going on a killing spree, killing the Shyvana, as everybody's just going to fall now. Garen picks up the Ornn, and Amumu gets 2 kills on the Swain. Lands the bandage toss, giving him a nice little ace coming onto the Zillion for the last kill as they turn into the Baron.
Oh yeah. This was not how you expected this team to go. Pretty random just pick right there on Misfortune. Turns, who is probably their carry member right now on the side of One Man Dance Party, just turns into an insanely winning team fight on the side of wait, what am I talking about? How do they win this team fight without Misfortune? What am I talking about here?
Garen, after that landing phase, he's actually picked up 5 kills. He's on his Trinity Force and Merc Treads there, so Amumu landed a really nice 2-man ultimate, and Garen was just able to spin on top of 2 people and quickly pick up 2 kills. And once Corki was gone, there's just no more damage left on the team comp right now for them to be able to kill everybody.
Like, I was thinking, like, there's no way this team fight wins. Shyvana, Corki, and then their bot lane dying. Yeah, that's a one team fight by Pendulum right there. That's what's clearly happening. My brain Either way, that's going to be the Baron picked up right in there for a one-man dance party, and just showing you that they're not entirely dependent on this misfortune. They've got a fat team comp behind them, and we got some pretty big item spikes coming up right here. We do see Garen right there. It's going to have the Black Cleaver and the Triforce. Now, this is something that, oof. Right? Wave clearing it up on the side of Corky. I like it.
Well, Zillion pressed his E and pushes Corky and forces him to use the package. That's a scary boy there with his 2 glacial items.
Oh yeah, honestly, like glacial augment, very good on certain champions, but you know what else is really good? 2 needlessly large rods on heavily AP abilities. Ooh, what's that one?
Swain just a little bit too far up, gets pretty well popped after getting stunned by Zillion. One thing, Zillion actually has Airy.
Oh, he has Airy? Really?
Yeah, so he's got Airy and went for the Twin Shadows and the GLP, which is a little bit interesting, but it seems to be working out. The GLP is really nice to get some slows to catch up with your bombs.
You get the shield on one of your teammates when you like speed them up? Oh,
yep.
Okay, that might be good.
And Namiel comes in, and Misfortunate's gonna come down as Corky gets taken out by the Garen. Another 2-man bubble as Garen is just killing the entire backside. Misfortune picks up a 3rd kill as Garen's just trying to spin his way towards Shyvana, but she's a little bit too fast as one-man dance party is gonna take down the inhib turret here. And honestly, probably look for the game. There's 30 seconds on 3 of the members of Pendulum Gaming here, and one-man dance party are 5 strong with Baron. Misfortune flashes in to try and kill the Swain. Is 1 auto attack short, but has a Zillion ult. Nami picks up a kill on Shyvana, and Misfortune finishes it off. And that's going to be game 1, going over to the side of one-man dance party.
Oh, yeah. Definitely not how I expected this game to fall out, but we saw some lanes that we didn't expect to get leads, get some pretty substantial leads, and some lanes that we thought would go one way actually end up getting solo killed 4 times. But Garen ended up getting a lot of really good mid-game fights. He picked up just 7 kills throughout that. And ended up being like a huge factor on the back line for his team, just eliminating that Swain and Jhin in these fights. Swain not even got a second item there at 27 minutes, just showing you how much he fell behind because he didn't do too well in lane. And he wasn't really able to be too impactful in these team fights. So he is a Jhin main, so maybe we could see him a little bit more resources on the side of him. Although I do think one big factor in this game was for Noni on that AP Shyvana. We saw how now everyone's seen those highlight clips like on YouTube, Synapse, like, oh, one-shot AP Shyvana build, so insane. This build's insane. Everyone needs to play it. But in reality, it's very cheese, and it's very difficult to actually pull off in a lot of games. Like, it should be more useful than, like, I don't know, an Olaf who actually ganks before 10 minutes, you know? Like, someone who can get those leads, get those invades. And, like, the fact that, like, AP Shyvana, this guy on Shyvana wasn't ganking for his lanes, wasn't helping to win some certain matchups where you really do need that early pressure. It really just shows like the disadvantages of going for a late game scaling jungler. You know, like even an example like Yi or Evelyn do have really good early ganks with the charm, with the dash on the E on his Q. You have whereas like Shyvana, if you try to gank someone early, you know, you hit your W and you walk up slowly, right? Like, please don't walk away from me. What are you supposed to do in that scenario? But either way, I definitely like to see Fornoni on a more early game jungler to help his comp out a little bit, because otherwise you're just going to get snowballed in the mid game. You know, what do you think about this one, man?
No, absolutely. I think they're going to look to change it up here. I think they're going to want to play something that has a little bit more priority in the earlier on game. Maybe play around their Ornn a little bit, who seem to be doing incredibly well in the top lane here. And we'll see what they're going to end up, doing to change up the way these games went and hopefully try to pick up the game 2. But first, we're going to take a short break. We'll come back with pick ban for game 2 in a few minutes. So sit down, relax, and we'll be back soon. And welcome back, everyone. We're here now for Game 2 between One Man Dance Party and Pendulum Gaming. One Man Dance Party took a pretty convincing win, 27-minute win over Pendulum Gaming in the first game with their Amumu comp, as the bans are coming in super quick here. Cassid, Zilly, and Tryndamere banned out by Pendulum Gaming, and Renekton, Morgana, Kale taken away by One Man Dance Party.
Definitely. We will be going for that Misfortune again. Very, very first pick. You know, she popped off so hard in that early game. She was very, very useful for her team. But it's actually going to be going to the opposite team this time. It looks like Wedding Genie, who was on the Jhin last time, is going to be on the Misfortune. Instead, he's just saying, you know, Misfortune's OP. Just give me that. That's the only reason I watched it. But yeah, other than that, this is looking pretty exciting right now. Garen picked up again. I really would like to see a Bruiser picked up for Spence 7432 because of how well he did in lane. And like, imagine if he was on like the set or something. His Renekton is going to be banned out, but his set is going to be open. So I really would like to see this guy on like something that he has a little bit more carry potential on, rather than just going on like a frontline tank, you know, for his team, that sort of thing. Either way, Kane. Ooh,
Kane
very good jungler right
now. That's an interesting pick, because not only is he a good jungler, but there's been some little bit of Kane top lately. I know the Garen's picked. There's been some Kane mid as well, so maybe we'll see that being
some
flexed.
Lane Kane.
Just in the jungle, or just, you know, not just in the jungle picked, but we're gonna get the top lane run back. Ornn versus Garen.
Yeah, salty run back. Either way, let's talk about the teams for a little bit more. But
good matchup into Sejuani.
Yeah, I do really like the Sejuani pickup right there. Should be pretty useful for a team in comboing with that Misfortune. But yeah, Kane, definitely one of those champions. He has been seeing a lot of buffs to his kit lately. I think he might be getting a nerf next patch or something like that. But I already thought he was a pretty decent champ. You know, you get like one or two really good ganks off in the early game, and you can get your form. And you can just transform from having one of the a pretty bad kit to having one of the best kits in the game, you know, especially if you go for rock. You know, you get that really low cooldown knockup. You get that displacement. You get the ability to walk through walls. That combined with like all your healing you get if you go for Conqueror or something like that is just insane, honestly, like that. Although I am seeing a note right here. Something about redo draft. Are we going to see a draft coming up again? Or is there some error or something? Some pick that wasn't meant to be locked in?
I'm going to assume that Lissandra was a mispick here, but teams just quickly agreeing to redo the draft, so...
if we get another link.
A little bit here.
I mean, Lissandra's a pretty good pick here. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
We are like checking with the teams right now to figure out what happened. Not entirely sure. Oh, okay. No, I think they're just commenting on how the similar picks are being picked up. When they say redo draft, they're just meaning they're getting a salty run back, I guess.
I can't, I'm not entirely sure what...
Yeah. Either way.
For sure it's happening. Okay, yeah, so Lissandra was a mispick. They're just redoing it. They'll give us a new spectator link. Hopefully they just run through it relatively quickly. They're just going to redraft up until the Sejuani.
Okay.
Everything's going to be the same, and then after the Sejuani, we'll see what was properly supposed to be picked. They did hover Tristana before, she was the ban hover there as Lissandra got locked in. So I'm going to assume that we're going to be seeing a Tristana pick coming in here from One Man Dance Party. But,
maybe.
We'll find out probably in about 30 seconds as they'll just rush through these picks here.
Yeah, I mean, Tristana and Lissandra aren't even that close to each other in the order. I mean, they do kind of sound like if you say them real fast. So maybe that's how they got mixed up there. Either way, we are going into the new pick ban tool right here. Probably should be starting up in another second. And let's talk about, aside from this Lissandra, let's talk about these comps so far. I'm real excited to see this guy on the Garen again.
Ooh, he definitely did pop off for his team, but we do see Ornn, how well he did. Maybe if he can like be a little bit more relevant in the team fight, something that usually isn't too much of an issue for Ornn. But if he does have a misfortune to combo with him, it might be a little bit of a run back.
Yes.
Other than that, I mean,
yeah, Misfortune Ornn Sejuani is a really, really solid start to a team fight composition. You know,
definitely.
Sejuani and Ornn both have great engage. Really good pick for either one target, or if you're Ornn, you know, 5 targets. If they're lined up properly for you. And Misfortune is a really, really good long range follow up for that. So they're looking to kind of take the same kind of fight that One Man Dance Party brought to them right back and say, hey, we can do it too, and we're going to try and do it better. But One Man Dance Party tried to bring in the Kane, and Rost is really, he's going to get Rost really quickly against Sejuani Ornn, especially if he's going to be looking for those early fights.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of damage that you're doing to them. You have a lot of time to harvest those orbs, you know, in those fights without potentially getting poked out or having to leave a fight too early. But either way, this does open up Pendulum for potentially some really greedy picks in the mid lane. You know, this guy mainly plays like Orianna and Corki. He is an ADC man. But if he has like something hiding up his sleeve, like a Yasuo wouldn't be too good here because they don't have a lot of magic damage on their team. But if he does have like a, I don't know, some kind of AP assassin like a Silas on his team, I do think that could be a very, very good pickup in the mid lane here for Pendulum. Meanwhile, we did see that the Lissandra was supposed to be an Ezreal.
So they did end up picking Ezreal. It's okay. Ezreal, one of the stronger ADCs right now.
Yeah.
Interesting to note, Echo did go through to the second rotation. So One Man Dance Party had the chance to blind pick the Echo for Pig Lord, but decided against it, as Yuumi, Nautilus, and Irelia were all of the second rotation bans, and Karma is the pick for One Man Dance Party.
Yeah,
blind pick support, pretty good.
She might be the support. She might be the mid too. You know,
could be the mid laner.
Probably going to be the support though. Honestly, you know, probably pretty easy to land those Qs on a champion without a dash right there in the Misfortune. You know, whether or not we see like some kind of enchanter right here to help out with Misfortune. You know, honestly, Nami looks really good here. Ooh, but the Zyra picked up, and adding to all that CC that Pendulum has right here, we get some fat ultimates on the side of Pendulum. One Man Dance Party. If this guy plays the Silas, I think I'd really like to see that from Pig Lord there in the mid lane if he is comfortable on that pick. Either way.
And we're going to see, Orianna. I was just thinking, you know, I would love Orianna in this team comp. They have the Shockwave, the Glacial Prison, the Call of the Forge God, the Zyra Ultimate, Stranglethorns. I remember its name, the Bullet Time, all of these ultimates. Literally, everybody can press R, and everybody on ODP will die if they're, you know, within a lane of each other. As the Fizz is going to be the counter pick here to the Orianna. This is definitely a different flavor of laning that we're going to see in the mid lane compared to the Corki Zillion we saw last game.
Oh, yeah.
He is not messing around here.
Yeah, like this guy didn't even play. This guy doesn't even play Zillion too much. He mainly plays Echo, you know, that's kind of dive heavy champs. So obviously Fizz shares a little bit of a playstyle with them. You know, you don't get the get out of jail free card with the Echo R, but you know, Fizz, he goes in, he does the damage, he auto attacks, you know, basically the same champion. Other than that, you know, we are talking about how Pendulum Gaming have a incredibly good team fight. If they get to those mid-late games, they do have some pretty good skirmishes too. You know, each one of the ultimates is going to be very, very valuable. Yeah. But you know, One Man Dance Party, we did see some lanes getting incredibly far ahead and a lot more proactive roams on those champions. So if we do see like the Kane or the Fizz getting incredibly far ahead, it could just be like an easy 2-0 victory on the side of One Man Dance Party.
Yeah, especially if they're looking heavily towards like early on skirmishing.
Yeah.
They're I don't think they really want to take full 5-man team fights against Pendulum Gaming. I think if that's the game plan that they're going in with, they're just not going to have a good time.
Definitely.
The 5-man is just not nearly as strong. However, if they're 1-4ing with the Garen top lane and he's just kind of pushing in the wave, Fizz maybe bottom lane if they do a 1-3-1 instead. Yeah. Nobody's going to be able to to kill the Fizz. So they're going to be able to have constant side wave pressure and looking for a less 5v5 oriented team competition.
Absolutely. But either way, we are seeing Spence played the Ornn last game, right?
Yes.
All right. So yeah, the top lane, we are going to see the salty run back. We did see Spence get that heavy lead on Ornn in the lane, but unfortunately he lost it to the Garen. in those team fights where Garen just absolutely popped off. So I'm really interested to see if we're going to see some kind of change in strategy on the side of Pendulum Gaming. Maybe Sejuani decides to apply a little bit more pressure top to really shut down the Garen even more, or she decides to get her bot lane a little bit more further ahead than they were in that last game. We saw how, just like a little bit of pressure from the junglers, some early fights going the way of 180, so you can just swing a lane, kill those towers, kill that secondary tower, be incredibly more relevant in those team fights. And, now he's on the Misfortune, which was obviously the overpowered pick in that game,
Misfortune is just so impressive when she's ahead, especially with the Nami, where she can get a slow off with her Q when Nami uses the E buff onto her. And then, Misfortune is already 3 times faster than you normally, and she can press W while you're slowed, and then you can't get away from her, and she just hits you with the PTA proc and you die. So she's gonna look to be quite impressive against this Ezreal here. He's probably just gonna, standing back, staying outside of Zyra plant range, and just hitting some Qs to farm into the game.
Both teams, both bot lanes, they have a lot of stuff they can throw at each other. Obviously, Misfortune Zyra will have the advantage in this scenario, but, Karma, she definitely has the tools to keep her AD carry safe. I'm assuming they did first pick Misfortune, so this guy probably knows this Ezreal into Misfortune matchup pretty well, considering he could pick whatever AD carry he wanted. I'm hoping that the same is true for Karma, and, they can combo really well. Try to get some similar instances like we saw in that game 1 where they snowballed really, really hard onto that Jhin and Swain matchup right there. And maybe we'll see some Kayn action right here. I'm really interested to see what lanes Kayn is going to choose to focus right here in this game, whether or not he's going to try to add even more to the Garen or get his Fizz ahead, which might end up being the better option for this game. Either way, any final big boy notes we got here before we get into game 2 of this series?
Big boy notes. I would hope to see that there's going to be a lot of fighting, because I want to watch this Fizz go in every opportunity he gets. And see the maximum annoying Fizz that I hate to play against.
Absolutely. Either way, we are going to be getting into the spectator delay right here, so y'all better stick around right here, and because we will be back here in about 2.5 minutes.
Welcome back, everyone. Here we are with the start of Game 2 between One Man Dance Party and Pendulum Gaming. Pendulum Gaming picking up the full team fight comp, looking to bring it back and try to take us to a Game 3 here.
Oh yeah, definitely. We are looking for an exciting Game 2 here in this 3-game series. Might potentially be the last game, depending on not depending, just guessing on how that first game went. You know, it was a pretty fat victory over on the side of OGP One Man Dance Party, and we are looking at some. I wouldn't say they had the better team comp, but they definitely do have a few picks to watch over here in that Fizz, in that Kane. You know, I have seen a lot of Kanes pop off in my solo queue games, and he did get a lot of useful vision right there on that blue buff. So he is going to know where that Sejuani is starting and plan his path accordingly. Definitely shows you that this guy knows what he's doing in the jungle. Other than that, though, we got some pretty interesting lanes too.
Yeah, so we'll see. Early on, this Orianna is going to be beating up on the Fizz. Fizz is not going to have a really fun time farming in the lane, but once he gets a few levels under his belt, once he hits that level 6, we're going to see a lot of Fizz olids into that, on top of that Orianna. But until then, we're going to see some early pathing. Ezreal and Karma are going to try to poke out Misfortune and Zyra, who are going to try to poke out Ezreal and Karma. So I think we're going to see another really heavily fighting bottom lane. Though it is interesting to note that Karma did bring the exhaust.
Interesting.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not
exactly will be getting exhausted here. We'll see when it happens.
I would have liked to see the exhaust more on the Zyra instead of the Karma. You know, like Fizz in these later game team fights. You know, an impactful exhaust on him would be really good. Versus you know, they don't even have an assassin or anything on their team. Like, are you going to exhaust the Zyra? It's her plants doing the damage, not her, you know? Does exhaust affect the plants? Probably, now that I think about it. But
I believe it does.
DPS.
But I'm not actually certain on that.
Yeah. Either way, we are seeing some fat trades happen up here in the top lane. We see some Ornn breath coming out here, and Garen's health bar a little bit lower than Ornn's. Wonder if we're going to see a little bit of a repeat, or if Garen's going to play a little bit safer in this matchup, or play it a little bit different. Ooh.
So Ornn taking a really big trade here.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't quite have his level 3, so he doesn't have the knock up to fully punish the Garen for extending there, but still a really good trade. Forces Garen's pot. He already doesn't have his pot, while Ornn still has his first pot, still has the biscuit he picked up, but Kane looking to get a gank in on Orianna here. Fizz using the pull to get in and ignites the Orianna as she dodges away from the Kane W and is forced to barrier and flash to stay alive.
Oh yeah, definitely. That barrier coming in useful, you know, able to just keep her alive. I believe she recalled there with like 70 HP, something like that. Either way, one more Fizz auto might have been a little bit more impactful, but the barrier just coming in huge there. Definitely getting some early stacks there on Kane, although he does want to be spending a little more time on those melee champions. If his plan is to go for Rost, as his Conqueror will lead you to believe. But other than that, Sejuani looks like she might be looking for something here in the top lane, or fight at the Scuttle Crab, depending on what we see.
Fizz has full priority here, so he may be able to walk up and assist the Kane, but looks like they're just going to give it away. Kane's going to go down to the bottom side and collect that bottom side Scuttle Crab instead. He actually did get the top side Scuttle. Seeing the map. Kane did actually finish it off, but so he's actually going to get his 2 scuttles here. And that's a really, really nice start for him early on with that experience.
Yeah, he's probably going to recall, get his combined jungle item, plus like either boots or a longsword, I'm guessing. I'd go for the longsword personally, you know, get a little bit more damage in these early ganks. You know, you have some pretty good ganks. You know, walking through walls is a pretty good ability, no matter who you are. But other than that, first dragon of the game is going to be coming up here in about 45 seconds, and it's going to be an Ocean. Very, very good dragon in that early game. Definitely like to see a little bit of a fight.
Absolutely. Especially with these 2 poke bottom lanes, whichever bottom side gets that dragon is going to be at a strong advantage here, but not in a great spot for the Zyra. Is actually able to flash away to get away from the Karma route, but Ezreal flashes over the wall, follows it up to pick up the first blood, and there's the first successful gank coming in for Kane.
Absolutely. Kane also had his flash available, and he was positioned right up against that wall, so I'm wondering why he wasn't the one to go for that little bit of a play there. I definitely think like the flash is a little bit more valuable on the AD carry in these early sections of the game where you're extremely vulnerable to ganks. But he does have his heal, so hopefully a little bit we can do a little something with that when we get up here. Not to mention he has the support with the shield to help him. But yeah, I'm definitely liking this early lead he was able to get himself. He was up a little bit of CS before that fight. So this guy definitely knows what he's doing in that AD carry spot.
Yeah, and it is Ezreal, so losing his flash isn't going to be too detrimental, but Garen's got his Conqueror proc here and is spinning on top of the Ornn. Has one, maybe two more auto attacks to go kill the Ornn and flashes in to finish off the kill. And at the same time, Sejuani goes to gank bottom lane and burns the remaining summoners out of the Karma and the Ezreal.
Yeah.
So now all 4 summoner spells are down on the bottom side.
As we do. Yeah. Dragon is on the map, and looks like Sejuani might try to be soloing that or something, getting some vision on it, obviously. But meanwhile, Kayn definitely poised up for a little something extra here in this mid lane. He definitely is trying to get Pig Lord ahead here on that Fizz. You know, very, very impactful pick if he can get himself a lead. But other than that, not too much happening so far in this game.
Yeah, Orianna losing that flash on the early gank makes it really easy for Fizz to pressure her off of minions. So that's where we're seeing a lot of the 15 CS advantage come. He's picked up his revolver now and he's getting some vision while Sejuani goes to maybe pick up another gank here as the Zyra root misses. So I don't think we'll see too much happening from the Sejuani unless they get a little bit too over aggressive. But just some farming for a little bit, a little more trading. Fizz is 6 right now, so he could look for an all-in soon. He goes in with a nice trade there, proccing the electrocute, but Orianna doing it right back. So he procs the ultimate and the ignite. It looks like he's going to go for the kill. The barrier's down from Orianna. And he flashes away from the shockwave, but is not able to pick up the kill. And Sejuani comes in with the flash, with the W, and is able to take the kill onto the Fizz.
Yeah, you hate to see it on an aggressive mid laner when like you try to go for something and it ends up just being decided by which jungler gets there. Kayn obviously not nearby. Meanwhile, Sejuani did have her flash about being like, no, you're not allowed to do this. No fun Sejuani for Noni coming out real quick. And doesn't look like she's going to try to forte this in anything. The Ocean Dragon still is on the map. I definitely would have liked to see a little bit of a rotation here from these bot lanes. Try to go for like a little bit of a 4v3 fight there.
Carmen's just looking for a little bit more trading. Yeah, they definitely could have maybe looked for that dragon, though. They weren't 100% certain on where Kayn was on the map. I'm not sure that they saw him backing, so they may have figured that he could have been on the bottom side since that blue was spawning soon. And didn't want to go for a relatively risky play, especially since Orianna was so low on health. And the bottom lane wasn't quite in a position to be quick pushed to go roam up. So Kayn gets a little bit of time. He gets the Scuttle Crab in the river and is going to maybe even look to solo out the dragon himself.
He knows he's in Brad. No. One thing about these wards is if you do have a... fight here.
I went for the Sejuani, but that W is not upgraded yet. It's just a slow. Just going to force him away, maybe force him to back.
Yeah.
Take some jungle pressure.
Yeah, one thing about these wards is something that they used to be a little bit different, but on regular wards, if you click on them while you have vision of them, you can kind of see who placed them. So if he did get that vision on there, he can see that, Sejuani is nearby, if he knows that trick, of course. Versus, like, you can't do that on pink wards, I believe. The only thing that could potentially inform you as to who was the one who placed the wards is the type of ward or the skin on it that you do see. Which, I mean, like, shit, who takes the time out of their day to memorize, okay, Garen has the dragon ward skin. Meanwhile, Misfortune is the one with the... SKT coma skin. Got it.
I mean, any piece of advantage that you might be able to get if you can.
I mean, I guess so. That's like
if you're able to figure it out.
Yeah,
I think it's
one thing that like LS is probably telling Master Chief to start doing. Just like, well, he's hitting his F keys like all the time, barely looking at his own lane. I don't know, just flame the guy. Either way, we are at 9 minutes into this game, and Kayn getting close to his transformation. Definitely needs at least 1 or 2 good more ganks to get there. The sooner he gets that transformation, the sooner he's going to be very impactful in these fights. So I definitely would like to see him be a little bit more active here in the top lane, really, the only place where he gets sources of melee champions to get onto aside from the jungler. Ooh.
All in there coming in, but Karma's a little bit too far up as he gets tracked by the Zyra root and taken down by the combination of the ultimates. It's a little bit too aggressive there. And
I would have
Zyra with a quick punish.
I believe so. I would have liked to see the exhaust on the Misfortune if he could have gotten into range for that, or at least trying to avoid that route. They did get something really nice trying to combo up that Karma stun with the Ezreal ult, but Ezreal doesn't do as much damage as a fully triggered Misfortune ult. Yeah, just one of those things that doesn't work.
Fizz looking for the dive here, hits the zoning ultimate and forces Zyra to flash, but they're quite a long time underneath the turret. Actually, Ezreal did take tower aggro, so he lost almost more than half of his HP trying to go for the dive. Zyra's only going to need to flash, and Misfortune's only going to need to heal to get away from that dive. But as we were saying, Kane looking for something to do on the top side, but
Yeah.
not able to actually do anything.
One thing you got to anticipate on the jungle is when you're going for one of these ganks is where someone's going to be walking to. Like, if Ornn was in a position where he had a lead on the Garen, he probably would have kept staying up close and personal with the guy, and where he could have potentially won that trade. But he has to recognize that he didn't have as much of a lead in the game, and Ornn understood that, so he was going to try to walk away as soon as Garen went aggressive, other than like that. You know, but then you get into the mind games aspect, where it's just like, oh, does he know that? Why is he going aggressive if I have a lead? Ooh!
See Garen the ultimate going down onto the Ornn, but it's not quite enough. The tower shot takes Garen to like 0 HP, and Ornn flashes to try and get the kill, but was just a little bit out of range. Unable to pick up that kill. Is some more trading. Kane's gonna go ahead and flash for his first kill, and that's good. That's some melee stacks, getting him a little bit closer to that Rost.
Yeah, I like seeing some good old Kane plays, some good old tower dives. You know, he's no Reese, but he does still have pretty good tower dives, a lot of movement ability. Champion.
Karma does juke out the root from the Zyra, snares her up as well. Exhaust going down onto her as Ezreal is taking her down, but Ezreal flashing away, trying to get away from the plants, and does live from the Karma shield. As just trading ultimate for Orianna barrier. Decent trade for now since Kane is coming in from the top side, but Orianna does have her flash, and Fizz is completely out of mana here, so he's going to be safe. But Ornn's teleporting in from behind. He's going to look for a knock-up here. Looks for the Call of the Forge God, is going to use it, gets the knock-up onto Fizz, and takes him down. Garen's trying to run in from behind, but Misfortune and Sejuani are all here as well, so they're going to stun up the Garen. They're going to use the ultimate on him and pick up a kill on him as well. That's a nice kill there for the Orianna, and a really nice team play coming in from PLG, looking to take this mid lane as well.
Yeah, you know, I talked a little bit about this when streaming, but one thing I like to say is it's much easier to punish someone attempting to make a play than it is to make a play, especially at lower elo. We saw how, like, Fizz wasn't able to get those kills onto that Orianna earlier. She did have the barrier. She does have her own personal shield. So that's a lot of damage from the all-in that she is going to be mitigating from the Fizz.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, and honestly, like, it's on Fizz to be the one making these plays. Orianna, if things go neutral, she will just outscale the Fizz and be much more useful the later this team fight goes. So you also do kind of see the way that Fizz is misplaying these a little bit. You know, he hasn't used his E at all to get the slow and a little bit larger of an ability on that. He's always activated it immediately after becoming untargetable. He hasn't really used it to avoid anything. Definitely a spell that you have to work a lot to get the maximum use out of it. But if you do, it's a very, very good spell. He's not too far behind, honestly. 0-2, he's still up 15 CS on that Orianna. So there's definitely a lot of potential for a comeback on this pick. A lot of good use you could potentially get in these mid-game team fights, which we will be entering here in a second. 14 minutes is the official ending to laning phase, according to most professionals.
Yeah, and the Infernal Dragon's going to spawn here, the second dragon, as we see both bot sides of the map kind of gathering up together, looking to see who's going to get this dragon, as Kane starts it up right away.
Yeah.
They do see it, the side of PLG. They've got the Orianna ball giving them vision of it, as Ezreal gets caught here by the Zyra root, but he's just going to E out of that ultimate, and Sejuani's going to go in here and try to get the smite fight, but Kane is able to actually get the smite. As the team fight goes in, the shockwave only hits Kane, and he's going to get taken down, but the Fizz ultimate here lands onto the Orianna, and she's going to go down to the Ezreal as well.
Oh yeah. Ooh, Garen towered out of
Garen taking some damage on the top side. Ornn looks for the ultimate and finishes off the kill here, picking up another well, not another, but a solo kill onto the Garen.
Yeah. Another kill period. Ooh,
nice little dodge there by the Fizz E, able to avoid the Sejuani ult, and finally gonna get a little bit of rest from this last 30 seconds of fighting all over the map.
Yeah, you know, I gotta say, Fizz, he did get his rework in like season 6 or 7 as part of the full assassin arc, and he has gone through a lot of changes since then. But I really gotta say, I do kind of miss the old Fizz and how like central his kid was. You know, it used to be like a 4-second cooldown with CDR at max rank. It was like an ability that was more defining of his kit, whereas now it's just like his W reset is honestly like the source of a lot of his damage in his trades. You know, I do kind of miss that sometimes, but either way, it is showing you how impactful it is when you can use that E to avoid these ultimates from champions like Sejuani, who a lot of their power in their kit is tied to. Oof. Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. If that ultimate landed onto the Fizz, he was definitely not going to be living for much longer there.
if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, 100%. As
yeah.
both junglers now getting some more farm again. Kane's still not quite at his upgrade.
Yeah. Oof.
Getting there close, but...
Uh-oh. 3 men.
Yeah, Garen's not having a fun time up here. He's going to go down to the Orianna. She's just going to finish him off with a few auto attacks. As Kane's looking to dive in the bottom side, so split pressure from both of these jungles and teams. And Zyra misses the root, so Kane pressuring them off, but not quite committing for the full dive yet.
Rotilda is going to be up here in about 20 seconds, so I will definitely say the advantage is towards Pendulum because they're in a much better spot to forte this potential pick or potential tower into something a little bit more profitable. Either way, you know, if they get a nice tower dive up here, it'll go either way. Kane not being too aggressive at the moment. He's got to really start going for something if he wants his form before 20 minutes. You know, he's at 16 minutes right now. You do should try to get it before 12.
Yeah. He does go for the dive here. He's going to ultimate onto the Zyra and likely going to finish him off over there at the end. As Ezreal is nearly getting taken down by these gigantic and super fast attacking plants, but they do end up pulling off the dive. They did lose the top tower for it, but they did get 2 kills in the bottom tower for it in return. So a decent trade for them. And 4 kills on this Ezreal right now. He's stacking up his man immune. Definitely not a bad place for them to be.
You can definitely see how Pendulum is playing around the power spikes in the top lane a little bit better. Ornn did go for the Sunfire first item and is able to get it a lot sooner than the Triforce on the Garen. One of the most expensive items in the game can be delayed, especially because of a solo kill action happening there. So obviously, despite Garen being a very strong champion in that mid-late game where he's been transitioned to, Ornn is going to have a lot of power over the Garen for the next few minutes of the game, especially before like Garen just starts getting like maybe a few random kills like he did in that last game. Other than that, I'm really excited to see Ornn doing a lot here this game. Hopefully he won't fall off as hard as he did. You know, hopefully he can get some really fat ultimates, you know, be a good ball delivery system there for Orianna in these fights. But he is going to be fighting against a 4-0 Ezreal, who will definitely be a lot harder to kill than a Jhin in these fights.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. And I'm interested to see where this Rift Herald is going to go. So they took the first Rift Herald, they used it mid and took a few plates. And now Sejuani's got the second one as well. And the only outer turret left is bottom lane, so I'm going to assume they're going to look for it here, especially with the Mountain Dragon coming up in 50 seconds. I think they're going to try to make a play, push out this bottom lane, get that Rift Herald down, and distract one-man dance party while they try to pick up their first dragon of the game. But until then, we'll see some farming. Karma's going to look for the snare here onto the Orianna. Is able to get it, and some good poke coming in from the Ezreal. Actually finishes off the kill and gets the shutdown from the Orianna.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was about to say that's a fat chunk going on there to Orianna. I did not expect her to die, but that really just shows you like how well coordinated these guys are. This guy knows exactly how to follow up on his damage and on his CC, and is landing all of his abilities consistently. Really, really good play right here on the Ezreal. And that's having the Orianna down is definitely gonna be impactful for this dragon spawning here in a sec.
Yeah, we say good play on the Ezreal. He eases in over the wall and is forced to flash out, but Ornn actually misses Call of the Forge God, but it's okay because Sejuani has her ultimate and Misfortune can follow it up as well. And they still pick up the nice 5-kill shutdown and continue to go in for the fight here. Karma gets the root, and Kayn and Fizz are all coming in as well. Fizz is looking for the Ignite kill onto the onto the Misfortune on the backline, is able to pick it up. And Garen was able to finish off the Ornn as well, so nice fight here. They end up picking 3 people for 1, or 2 people for 1, sorry, and are now going to look towards the dragon.
Absolutely. I was talking a little bit earlier about how so much power in Sejuani's kit is concentrated into her ultimate, and that's pretty much the same is true for like most of the champions on their team. However, almost all of them use their ultimates in order to catch out Ezreal, so that was going to be 4 members available who all basically have their ultimate still up. Meanwhile, they did not have theirs. We have a little bit of a fight right here coming up.
Orianna still has her shockwave. She actually uses it here and is able to let Sejuani get the smite steal on the dragon. She's able to flash out, stay alive. As Ornn's teleporting back into the fight, but he does not have his ultimate, so this chase is going to be a little bit too difficult for them to make, so they back off. But they get the Mountain Dragon.
Yeah, and the Baron is also coming up here in just a second. Let's see if they like try to go for vision or something, or go for a cheeky Baron. Either way, we are almost at 20 minutes, and we still see Kane without his red form available. Really going to be a deficit for his team in these fights, especially considering all he has to play into. You know, if he does get his form sometime soon, he can start being very impactful. He does have a little bit of a lead, but unfortunately, he was not scrapping it out enough to get that red form King, you know, so he is going to be suffering a lot. Whether or not he got enough points in that last fight to get his transformation is going to be a different thing entirely. But I mean,
Yeah.
come on, man, you need your form. It's 20 minutes. Man. I've seen people get their form at like 8 minutes in some of my games, and it's like,
Granted, they were getting all those kills off of me, but I mean, come on.
Hey.
I
How they get their kills is how they get their kills.
Yeah.
But he's farming up here. He's still honestly pretty strong once he's actually able to finish off that kill. He's only down 200 gold from that Sejuani, but
yeah,
once he is able to finish that, and I think he's going to finish it here. I think he's going to transform now.
Oh, is he? Is he?
I believe so. Yes, he is transforming right now.
Oh, here we go.
He is actually becoming Rost, and honestly now a really strong point for this team comp, and hopefully they're going to be able to start taking some of these team fights.
Absolutely.
For their win condition.
Once he gets that black cleaver, he's also going to be pretty big. I know Garen is also probably going to be opting into one as well, but those black cleavers are going to come in a lot of use when it comes to like trying to get through these Ornn and Sejuani, who are going to have naturally a lot of armor in their kit because of Sejuani's passive and just the items that Ornn is opting into. Either way, one other thing I'd like to point out is these Ornn items, which will be coming up here in the next few levels. Right now, we only have the Luden's Echo that is upgradable. Can you upgrade a Warmogs on that champion? I don't think you can.
I don't believe so, but Misfortune's probably going to be building an Infinity Edge second here. So soon enough, by the time Ornn's level 15, Misfortune's going to have her Infinity Edge finished, and he'll have another item to finish off. But Fizz getting chunked down a little bit, forced to E out.
Yeah, you hate
and give up a little bit of pressure
out there. If I was Fizz right now, I would probably be going for an early stopwatch if I could. Definitely would help you a lot here in these team fights. I don't even know if I would finish the Lich Bane if I was him. You don't have a lot of AP in your kit right now to give it too much scaling, so just going into a hard stopwatch right now, being able to dive and just sit there for a few extra seconds might be what you need on that champion. And if his goal is to be useful in these fights, that's definitely what he should be building. Whether or not he does is another
100%.
question.
Yeah, we'll see when they end up going for the itemization. Nice poke there coming in from Karma. They're using the Ezreal ult as well. Orianna's down to a couple hundred health points here, and they're trying to siege down this turret. They might be able to get something here, but Sejuani, her W is going to be able to clear the minions, and she's quite tanky, so... That along with Zyra minions.
Manamune and Triforce finish right now, as well as being 5-0, so he is popping these guys with these Q. 2 levels up on the enemy bot lane. One thing I would like to talk about is I have been seeing a lot of people talking either in the chat or on the stream a little bit about how they do have the better team fight on the side of Pendulum. They did obviously pick a lot for that. Ooh, Fizz ultimate coming out here.
Oh, and the Ornn ultimate actually coming in on the back line as well. Does knock up the Ezreal, but Ezreal is able to Arcane Shift out of the rest of the CC and is able to live as Karma's forced to flash with the Stranglethorns on her and the Orianna ball just threatening the Shockwave to kill her. But good there, Ezreal's able to escape the engage and they get out relatively scot-free. They only burn the heal and the flash from the Karma as they push Sejuani out of the jungle and look to finally finish off this mid turret.
Yeah, I was just talking about earlier about how they picked a lot of really good teamfight ultimates on the side of Pendulum. But I want to preface that with your teamfight ultimates are only good if you follow up on them, You just saw them use all their... almost all their ultimates.
Speaking of teamfight ults, Orianna landing a really big 3-man shockwave, but Zyra and Sejuani actually get finished off underneath the turret.
Teamfight ultimates are only really good if you have a good teamfight to follow up with them, which they honestly don't. Ezreal is just putting out so much damage in these games, and they have a lot of good single target elimination with the Fizz and with the Kayn and the Garen. So it's like, if you use all these ultimates like they did like just a minute ago and you don't get any kills off of that, then you're really not getting any value off these. It's still on the player to get the values from these ultimates. Like just having a Sejuani ultimate doesn't mean you're going to win a team fight. Just having an Ornn or kind of an Orianna ultimate might mean you win a team fight. But you notice they're just not getting any kills right now. And this is definitely going to show the lack of damage on their team if they aren't going to be very coordinated in these. Now the Mountain Dragon is coming up, and that could be very, very useful for either of these teams. Both of them have a pretty strong front line, so this should be a pretty impactful fight right here.
Absolutely, and the big thing is a lot of the ultimates are coming back off of cooldown for the side of Pendulum Gaming. So yeah, the Shockwave just came off of cooldown. The Call of the Forge God is off of cooldown, but the fish lands onto Oriana and she's forced to flash away as Fizz goes in onto her. But Kane gets knocked up and stunned as he's going back into the Ornn. Oriana lands a huge 3-man Shockwave here and is able to get Misfortune 2 kills. Picks up the triple kill here in the team fight, and they're gonna look to finish off this Mountain Dragon.
Oh, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. Like, this is an example of them getting a lot of value out of these ultimates. I definitely gotta say, this is more on the Oriana than anyone. I think a lot of fat shockwaves.
Oh yeah,
multiple members of the enemy team just chunking them out, and unfortunately, she did have a really good follow-up from her team with Misfortune, with the Zyra, and the Ornn to start it off, honestly. And they're going for it. I'd like to see them go for a Baron right here.
Yeah, I would have liked to see them go for the Baron as well, but Misfortune did go down to the bot lane to catch a wave, and Ornn was a little bit low, so maybe they were thinking it's a little bit too risky to go for it against the Ezreal, who was still alive and does a lot of poke damage. So they're just content with taking the fight, content with getting their second Mountain Dragon actually. So the Mountain Dragons are tied, and they've got a nice little bonus armor and magic resist, which is really, really nice for the super tanks of Sejuani and Ornn.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's definitely becoming a lot of useful for them, but not as useful as a Baron buff. They are a little bit for how much power they have behind their team. They haven't been able to do much so far in this mid game. They did have that one winning fight, but I mean, like, I guess the late game is just going to be theirs. Both teams are even in towers, so a Baron buff, whoever gets it, would really help to wing the gold on this game. Currently, there still is a gold lead on the side of One Man Dance Party in about 2K at that favorite basketball game. But other than that, I mean, we do see some of the Ornn item upgrades coming in right now. We do see the Molten Edge right there from the Misfortune. But with the Morellonomicon second item on the side of Oriana, it's going to be a little bit until she gets a upgrade. You can get it on the Ludens, but oftentimes you want to save that until you get like a death cap or something. So whether or not they're going to use it on the Ludens or save it is definitely going to say a lot about how they want to play out this game, whether or not they have the power now or they believe in themselves to hold this one out and wait and scale.
I'm definitely interested to see the the Morellonomicon coming in here instead of, say, Zanya's or Banshee's Veil for the Oriana. Because the biggest thing for her is to be able to stay alive and to get her big ultimates off in the team fights. And those are what's going to do it for her. But the Fizz ultimate comes in as Kane and Fizz are looking to get a kill on the Ornn, but they've been hitting him for 5 seconds. He still has 1,200 HP left. They both dodge the ultimate. Ornn tries to flash out, but there's just too much chase there as Kane picks up a kill.
I will say that was a little bit of a faux tankiness because he did use his Stone Plate during the Fizz ultimate. But I mean, other than that, it really that's a very, very good pick, and it really just takes away any of the pressure they had right there, going for like any kind of objectives or grouping up. Plus, like, those are two very, very valuable people to be getting kills on. It looks like Fizz will be going for the Lichbane second item. Again, that brings him a little bit closer to getting that Zanya's, which I really think is going to be the key for him to being more impactful in these fights, being able to just sit there and wait out either the Ornn or the Misfortune or the Zyra ultimate and get his E off cooldown for a little bit with that extra 2.5 seconds of invulnerability with that item. He is going to pitch up his Lichbane now, so hopefully we're going to see some Zanya's coming in soon.
I think Zanya's is both incredible for both of these mid laners. Oriana can Zanya's the Fizz ultimate. She's basically safe from anything else that's going to end up coming towards her in the team fights. So I'm sure we'll see that picked up later on, though. The Morellonomicon is finished here. Decent amount of healing on the side of
One Man
Dance Party. Not too much. Not until Kane finishes his Death Dance. We'll see, which I assume he's going to be building next with those 2 long swords. Will we see a huge amount of healing on that side, but decent amount of healing.
Yeah, Kane can definitely get pretty disgusting once you pop off.
Because there's no area of effect negation on the Conqueror like there is on Death's Dance. Champions like the Aatrox or Riven or Kane can get so much value out of that rune and just be like a raid boss no matter what your build is in team fights. You just build full AD and just heal all the damage instead of tanking it, Ooh,
Garrett's in a bit of a tough spot here. There are 4 people coming in towards him as Ornn gets the knockup and he's just going to go down. The entire enemy team is here looking for that little bit of... He's pushed just a little bit too far up. And with that pick now, they may look towards this Baron.
Yeah.
And their Baron damage is okay. It's not incredible. They don't have like a Leandries on the Zyra, for example, to be able to take it down super quickly. So they're just going to go look to push the mid wave, get control on this mountain, which is spawning in 30 seconds, and pick up their third one. But Misfortune gets hit by the Fizz ultimate here, and Fizz not able to do anything more off of that. Sejuani hits her Q, just interrupts the Fizz from going in, and keeps the AD carry alive. But she was forced to burn both summoners.
We are hitting 30 minutes here, so anyone who took Gathering Storm is definitely going to start seeing a lot of use out of that. I know the Misfortune did, and she is sitting at a lot of AD at the moment. Let me check right here. She's at 300 right now with only 2 AD items. That is a fat... Ooh,
Fizz getting a pick on the backside, or looking for a pick on the backside as he troll pulls over another Sejuani ultimate. And Garen's back in the fight with that teleport move speed, and he flashes in onto Misfortune, looking to peel off the backside as Ezreal kills off the Zyra on the top side of the fight. Garen is just relentless on this chase for the Misfortune as Ornn tries to knock them up, but he's going to be the sacrifice for her. He's going to go down. Kayn is ulted on the Sejuani, but he's back to full health, so there's no problem. They're going to keep fighting it out, and Karma's looking to get this root on the Orianna on the top side. She does flash away, and the tanks continue to fight it out here. Sejuani burns her flash as well as Fizz is trapped from underneath the turret, not letting them get away.
You know, this is a little bit why I said I would have liked to see like maybe a Silas or honestly a Fizz over this side. Ooh,
nice Ezreal out there picking up the kill on the Sejuani and ends up getting the shutdown kill on Misfortune as well. The two carries on the side of One Man Dance Party getting the kills as Kayn and Karma go to finish off the dragon and pick up their third dragon of the game, putting them onto the soul point.
Oh yeah, I like seeing a good old soul point. Ooh, hold up. Ezreal going in here, splash. Ooh,
flashing. Oh, sorry, he just completely caught me off guard there as he flashes over the Zyra ultimate to get the kill on the Orianna and nearly killing off the Zyra as well.
10-1 right now on that pick. Let me just go back to a little bit of this team comp, what I was talking about right here. They do have a lot of really big team fight ultimates, which might seem very good at first, but you know, let's look at their sorts of damages right here. Their sorts of like sustained damage in these fights. You know, a champion like Ezreal is really good at like putting out some damage, you know, repositioning, putting out some more, like that. Whereas like a champion like Misfortune right here, she's definitely going to need a lot from her team in order to be useful. If you do get to the scenarios where Misfortune, who is honestly your only source of sustained damage in these fights, is blocked off either from a Garen just flashing onto you and threatening the all in, you're really going to start seeing like, oh hey, Arcane actually wins really hard when he's just chunking on these frontline tanks, you know? Ooh, Garen, a little bit deep right here. Ooh, getting that blue buff, but whether or not he's got
the Karma behind him.
yeah. No, I was saying,
totally
like,
safe.
If you're able to just like separate the AD carry or the Orianna, honestly, from this fight, or both, like able to do in that last fight, you can really just see like how much it enables your picks, like the Kayn, like the Fizz, like the Ezreal, to provide just so much more value than your team, these ultimate can. Like their composition on the side of Pendulum is really made for like 5v5 mid lane fight. You did see a little bit of that after laning phase with a little bit of the NA ramp coming on right here. But now that the Baron is available, it forces you to take these like jungle fights right here. And we probably won't see any more mid lane fights until after Baron is taken and we start going for sieges on the enemy team's base. Sure. I do think there is the argument to be made that like if we have the Baron over here on the side of One Man Dance Party, that Pendulum Gaming still win team fights if they do go for a 5-man siege in the mid and get some cheeky Orianna Misfortune ultimates. But other than that, they're playing this game really, really well on the side of One Man Dance Party. Whether or not that's intentional or they're just misplaying on the side of Pendulum, it's to be said. But either way, I'm really liking how this one's turning out. We are seeing some pretty big item spikes come in. Ooh, hold up.
Fizz ultimate's going to be going onto the Zyra, but Zan uses away, doesn't take any damage from it. And yeah, to go on that point, I definitely think that the side of One Man Dance Party is playing their team composition quite well right now. They're not actually allowing Pendulum Gaming to get a solid 5v5 team fight. Every 5v5 fight is actually like a 3v3 with two 1v1s on the side, or like, you know, a 2v3 with a 2v1 happening and a 1v1 happening somewhere nearby, but not quite all together. Where the Orianna and Misfortune are at their strongest.
You know, like, going on that, it's like in a 5v5 pure front-to-back team fight, obviously, Pendulum have the major advantage there. However, when you have a Garen flashing onto your AD carry, it automatically makes every single fight a split-up fight. Ooh.
Speaking of flashes, Karma is forced to burn hers here. Sejuani is looking for the engage here. Zyra is going to land the root and take down the Karma, and They get a nice little pick there, but Ezreal with the EWQ is able to take down just about 2/3 of Oriana's health bar.
Yeah, not too excited about the Leon. I definitely would like to see that one item that lets you cleanse one of your allies. You know, they do have a lot of CC right there, and that might have proved to be a little bit more useful. You know, Karma's really not there to do the damage. She's there to keep people safe and help people from getting caught out. You know, I do like the pick, but she's not really. Leandri's doesn't really contribute much to how she should be playing it. Other than that, 10-1 Ezreal right now, absolutely popping off that game. We see how much he's doing with these just E forward WQs, like for half of their health bar, and he does have the a lot of armor pens. So honestly, Ornn and Sejuani shouldn't even be a worry for him, especially combined with that Bork that he also racked there on the third item.
Ezreal is at a really, really strong point in their team fight right now, and I mean, he's feeling confident too. You can see it in his gameplay. He's eating forward almost every chance he gets.
Another thing about these fights is like I was talking about how in that pure 5v5 team fight they do have the advantage, but like
nice ultimate.
One thing you don't always account for is a losing bot lane. You know, like with a weird ass pick like a Zed mid or something like that, or Fizz.
Speaking of picks, Zyra's about to get picked out here as Fizz lands the ultimate onto her and is able to actually get the 1-for-1 trade.
Not necessarily worth it, you know, mid for supporter.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that's worth it, but Ezreal is gigantic here as he goes in for another E4 aggressive trade, but he can absolutely keep doing that. Garen's right in front of him, so Sejuani can't use the ultimate onto him. And the Glacial Prison goes just wide, and that's a big ultimate that's going to be not available for this dragon fight coming in. And this dragon is the soul.
Oh yeah,
for the side of One Man Dance Party.
Yeah, like I was talking about, they don't have anything to deal with Ezreal. Unlike if they drafted like I don't know, like a solo queue pick, like a Zed or Yasuo mid or something like that. Something like Ezreal has to react to, whereas he can just like keep sitting in this backline and DPSing as hard as he wants.
Yeah, they're gonna just keep going in for the fight here. Misfortune ultimate was only hitting Kayn, but Kayn just ults out onto the Ornn to regain his health bar, and Ezreal is just gonna keep hitting everything. Ornn's got to flash out of the fight as Garen flashes in on top of 4 people, looking for some spin damage here, and he's gonna be able to bring everybody incredibly low. But not finish off a kill, but it pulls everybody back into the base and gonna most likely be a free Dragon Soul for the side of One Man Dance Party.
Yeah, he had his ult available, but he chose really not to ult like any of the low priority targets. I guess it just shows you like how much the threat of an ultimate on someone like the Misfortune or like the Orianna means they have to just keep running away from him, and he can just sit there and keep triggering his E on like so many members of their team.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, there was probably a lot of value in getting like some kind of kill on them, but yeah, he just saw him flash over that wall and immediately start getting all that damage over here. And wish he had his flash right now, but he is going to get away.
Yeah, this Garen is quite tanky now. He finished off his Spirit Visage, so there's not going to be too much damage going on to him at this point in the game. Kane's also finished his Death Dance, so he's, incredibly tanky, if you want to use the word tanky for a Death Dance champion, but I would consider it tanky.
Yeah, he's too tanky. Not tanky in the fact like Misfortune January during game 1, but like tanky in the fact that he's just going to heal. Damage won't stick to him, basically. If he does get a Spirit Visage next item, it won't even matter that they have
Karma's playing with fire here. She's going to get ultimate by the Ornn here. She gets knocked up, and she's going to get taken down for free here. Definitely a little bit too aggressive. They're looking for the vision without her team around, but
yeah, not entirely
sure. Spark the Baron.
I'm not entirely sure if they do get the free Baron fight here. They did use the Ornn ultimate, but they do have the rest of their ultimate available. However, Ezreal's just going to be sitting here chunking them all out. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, Ezreal should be doing that.
Ezreal's looking to get towards the fight here. Ornn's, gonna get in front and try to body block these abilities, but everybody's gonna start taking damage here. The Sejuani ult goes down onto the Kayn, but she gets down. Garen's just spinning around in the backline, pushing off 2 of the players from the side of Pendulum Gaming as Ezreal is dominating onto the Ornn, and Garen finishes off the Zyra. They're just gonna keep chasing now onto the top side. Sejuani with her Warmogs, she's back to full health, but they're gonna just look to pressure them off of the map here and probably look to turn on the Baron here as their pings may suggest.
Yeah, both junglers are alive, so there is the potential to steal, but I mean, it's Sejuani, so like, how are you going to really be stealing there?
That was an Ezreal flash, but,
no one saw that. I'm not seeing any kind of pings on the side.
It's a misclick, it's BM, who knows which one it is, but, his flash is down now. The enemy team may or may not know of it.
Yeah, what that is right there. That's Abe Ruth holding his bat, pointing at the outfield, like, it's going to be exactly like
I don't even need any kind of other elements on my side. I'm 11-1. I'm in charge of this game. I am basically full build at this point. He could sell his boots, but there's just a lot of value in that item. So not really sure what he would sell it for. Maybe a Death Dance or something. I don't know.
Even using his ultimate to take some farm from the game.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This one's over. I mean, like, they do have the Baron buff. I
Well,
won't say this is over because, like, they have a
yeah,
really, really strong team fight, and they do. The way they come back into this game is by getting some kind of a pick and then forteing that into a team fight.
absolutely.
They've been conceding too much over to the side of a one-man dance party, saying like, all right, we'll consistently keep fighting you in the jungle rather than going for these mid lane team fights like they should. What they should be doing is just like what they should have done earlier is grouping up as 5 and just start shoving down those towers in the mid wave and say, this is where we're going to fight. You have to meet us here. But it's really hard for someone to like match there in the side wave. They do consistently keep sending members over there to match him. So that is a little bit of misplay. We might see something coming up right here with this Baron siege where they're forcing themselves into a 5v5. Unless, of course, we see Garen a really good split push. But we do see Kane there right now. Garen did back, but he does have his teleport. So I guess he's waiting to see if any kind of team fight is available. He is going to go for the Spirit, but not the Spirit. The Spirit is his third item. With Death Dance, fourth item. So these spins are going to be doing a lot for him now.
And he's never going to be taking a lot of damage, but this is where that Morellonomicon is going to come in nicely and reduce some of that healing, but we'll see if it's enough as Kane is just slashing his way through this Sejuani's health bar.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
looking to just pressure with the Baron here. They're taking 2 waves in. Garen's going to walk top lane. They're going to do a 1-3-1 here and just try to slowly but surely crack down on the base as Ezreal and Karma looking to get some poke on in the mid lane, but
there was the potential for
a little close there. A little close there.
If she reacted soon enough there, that could be an incredible swing for her team. You know, getting that pick onto Ezreal, so much damage in that Champions Kit. Ooh, Kane.
Yeah. Misfortune is coming down to the bot side, but Kane just gonna ult to regain his health and back off a little bit. Allow the Misfortune to just stay there. As Garen continues this slow push and pull across the map from the side of One Man Dance Party. They're playing their team fight or their composition to keep away the possibility of a team fight from Pendulum Gaming just incredibly well right now.
Yeah, I guess someone on the team must be saying, all right, guys, do not group as 5. We win this split. Garen is incredibly strong, and Kane can just keep 1 or 2 people in his lane. And that's going to result for a lot for them. They are going to get the inhibitor here and go and turn around, look for the inhibitor in the top lane. That's 2 inhibitors. They still have the Baron buff for a little bit. I wonder if they're going to go for some kind of fight into end right here.
I'm expecting to see them go for the 3rd inhib here and just rotate down a little bit. Sejuani is out of mana now, so she can't actually contest. Garen is just 1v and pushing away 4 members of the enemy team.
Wow, they can't even kill him.
Yeah, there's just nothing they can do to these health bars. Orin looking for the fight here. He goes to knock up the Kane alone, but Kane has his ultimate underneath the turret. Oh, sorry, actually, he didn't have his ultimate. He just paused, and Karma died as well. So a little bit overaggressive after picking up the inhibitors, but a nice swing.
They almost have no Nexus towers, but they do have Elder Dragon coming up in about 30 seconds. So if they get a pick on Ezreal right here, this could mean a swing with an Elder Dragon.
Yeah, Sejuani's forced to back off as Fizz flashes in and gets the kill onto the Orianna, but that's going to be him trading his life for it as well, as Ezreal is taking a ton of damage from the Zyra plants here, and Misfortune's going to be able to crit him and take him off the map as well. Gets the shutdown.
He needs to stay alive. He can't die here.
Yeah, this is huge for him to stay alive, but he's too fast. They can't catch him.
I mean, if they're trying to get back into this game, they need to go for this Elder Dragon, which is now on the map, and it looks like they will be rotating around here. They're going to have to deal with that Garen, who fortunately did live for his team, and the Karma, who is going to come up here in about another second.
But they're going to have to deal with the minions.
Ooh, but Garen does have his teleport. So,
he's actually teleporting into the base here. He's got 3 super minions with him, and an Orin, but he can just ignore the Orin. He's going to start spinning instead of auto attacking the turrets, but he just goes. He's finished both turrets, and now he's just gonna hit the Nexus. He's just auto attacking the Nexus. There's almost nothing the Ornn can do here. He knocks him up, and they get the Elder Dragon, so this might be enough damage for him. But Garen just barely finishes off the kill onto the Nexus, and is able to win the series for his team.
Oh my god! Oh my god, Garen!
What a backdoor!
Jesus Christ. We saw like how big he was there in that fight. How close he was about to get to the Elder Dragon execution range. He was able to get that like last Q right there on the Nexus, which because of all the AD in his kit will be absolutely chunking it. And he will be coming away there with game 2 for his team. And I believe this is a 3-game series. So that is the full series over there, going over to One Man Dance Party.
That's One Man Dance Party taking the quarterfinal matchup here against Pendulum Gaming. Really solid. Well, Very solid first game. This game, went on
Oh
a
yeah.
little longer, but that's also due in part to their team compositions,
Oh
how
yeah.
skirmishing and how, split pressure they needed to play to be able to break the base of the side of Pendulum Gaming. But once they were able to get that Baron, once they're able to get the Dragon Soul and have that extra tankiness from the Mountain Soul, we saw them play really well with their Baron and really well with their their lane assignments, and just didn't allow Pendulum Gaming to have their win condition get them back into the game.
I completely agree. Their macro is definitely much better than Pendulum's, and although they had a lot of early fights that went their way in game one, game two that was all macro that they were working with there.
Yeah.
Honestly, like you saw, like the Fizz was like 0-2 there at like 20 minutes. He turned that into a 5-4-7 based on how these later fights went. But yeah, almost a 44-minute game goes the side of One Man Dance Party here, 2-0 in a 3-game series. I gotta ask you, man, who is your
Oh boy.
MVP for this series? I got two guys in mind.
Um, I think I'm actually gonna go and give it to Saza on the Ezreal and the
Mm,
Misfortune from game one.
okay.
With his lead
Okay.
in the first game, the Misfortune along with the Nami and just their team comp in general, he was able to snowball really heavily and pressure his lead around the map. And here with the Ezreal, I mean, he did
Oh
what,
yeah.
60,000 damage in the game. He was, ulting on cooldown, hitting 2 or 3 people with it every single time in the back line, just shredding the tanks with his full item build, just playing an incredibly good series.
Absolutely. I have to agree with you. Ezreal just did bring so much value to his team both games in these series. He won what looked like a losing lane, and he won his lane game too, what also looked like a losing lane, honestly. And honestly, this game wouldn't have been even close if he just played average for his team. He was just coming up so huge in the mid game and the late game. So definitely size really big. However, I will say JLV Frog, those were some pretty sick Garen plays this series. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. The way the Garen played, he was able to make a lot of space in the team fights for the Ezreal and for the Fizz to be able to do their work and just deal all of their damage that they need to do as well. So yeah, I definitely
Yeah,
agree with them. Honestly, stellar play from the entire squad. They're playing and communicating very well, it seemed.
absolutely, absolutely. Really, really good job there by Ezreal. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think that's everything for the series tonight. So thank you everybody for watching. That's the Rampage Open quarterfinals, a 2-0 victory for One Man Dance Party over Pendulum Gaming. And we'll be back tomorrow. We'll have the Rampage pre-made finals coming on the main channel, the the Unstoppable pre-made quarterfinals going on the Risen 2 channel tomorrow, 7 o'clock Eastern. So you guys won't want to miss it, and catch us then tomorrow night. Good night, everyone.
Toodles.